Financial myths, they can make it difficult to plan your retirement and then stick to that plan.
Yeah, when mapping out your retirement years, it's critical to have the right information. We are joined by certified financial planner Will Rogers to talk about common retirement planning myths. Hi, Will.
Hi, no, it's good to be here. I have been helping people retire with confidence for 3 decades. And the before they retire versus after retire, sometimes they just have stuff in their mind that it just ain't so.
And brother, are there a lot of myths?
Yes, yeah. So now let's talk about what are some of the 6 retirement myths we will be debuting today.
No, as we're looking at the different retirement myths that people have, that they're going to think that they're going to be able to withdraw whatever they want from their accounts, that Medicare is going to cover all of their health care costs. They think Social Security is not going to last at all. They think they can work as long as they need to. My favorite one is they're going to spend less money.
Yeah.
And my second favorite is live in their forever home. I've had so many people tell me they're going to buy they're in their forever home, and I'm like, you're in your for now home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the first one here, the first myth, a withdrawal rate.
Yeah, because I also said debunking
Withdrawal
wrong.
rate. Yeah. That's a myth in of itself. Okay.
Yes.
So as you're looking at your withdrawals from your IRA, this is what percentage, how much you're taking out. And if you think you've got the cooler with water with a tap on there, are you draining it too fast, or are you draining it slow enough that it's going to last over your lifetime?
Right.
4% is generally considered sustainable. If you're withdrawing more than 4%, there's a good probability that you're going to have to turn that tap off sometime. So make sure you've got another source of water if you're draining it too fast.
So just to clarify, that's 4% of your annual, what you would consider your annual income.
Well, the 4% is of the investment. So if you have $100,000 in an account, that means you could take $4,000 out. If you've got $1 million in the account, that means you could take $40,000 out.
Okay.
So the flip side of this, if you need $80,000 a year of income, that means you need $2 million in the portfolio.
In the portfolio.
And I think there were some other steps here that we were talking about with that particular, with the withdrawal rate.
If you can adjust it, it can last a lot longer. So if you can be flexible with your withdrawal rate, one example is you might have a high withdrawal rate early on, but be delaying Social Security until a later year. And so if you can have that unique situation set up, the future income could be Social Security, should be a pension, and there might be an inheritance coming in. Or it might be that you're intentionally choosing to live life large the first 10 years of retirement, knowing that you're going to dial it back in your mid-70s or 80s.
Now, Will, let's talk about Medicare, because what costs will Medicare not cover?
There's so many that Medicare will not cover. So you've got your deductibles, you got your copays. Vision and hearing are not covered by Medicare. But the biggie, the real biggie, is nursing home and long-term care is very limited. And a big misconception people have is that if I got to go into a nursing home, Medicare is going to cover it. Well, at most they'll cover it for about 120 days. They may cover hospice care at end of life, but most of the long-term care is something that families are spending $70,000 to $100,000 a year to care for a family member.
And I think a lot of older kids are finding out too late when they are putting their parents into a convalescent home or a nursing home like that this isn't actually the case.
Yes, no, and so you got that big cost, and it costs just as much, if not more, to have somebody coming in the house to care for mom and dad. So if mom or dad need that care, you need to have a plan who's going to provide it and how's it going to be paid for.
All right, so now here's a big myth right here, because people my age probably thinking about this as well. Social Security is not going to last. We're not going to have it. What's the deal with Social Security?
And it's really not likely to change for folks that are already receiving it. But for folks that are not yet receiving it, Social Security is going to need some changes. Now, I don't know if they're going to raise the primary retirement age or the income tax on Social Security, what have you, but it's not sustainable. But here's the other thing. Imagine if the lights in here just dim down a little bit. Don't go to black, but Social Security, if they do nothing, there's 80% of the funding still there for it. So it's not going to go away. It's not this on or off, all the lights on all the way to black. But again, just imagine if the lights dim down just a little bit by 20%. That's what Social Security is facing.
Okay. Now, Will, how long can people be able to count on working?
counting on being able to work really drops pretty sharply after your 60s. So when you're in your 60s, a lot of folks are thinking, oh, I can work until my late 60s or 70s, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. The job can be eliminated. And
Yes.
so never mind your abilities.
Right.
What if the position is gone? There's health reasons that come in. But then the skills that are changing, just look at the change that we have in our world with technology bringing in to so many fields. And so if you're not staying current with that, then you really are at risk of not being able to be employable.
Yes.
You can definitely get behind the 8 ball on that one as well.
Yeah.
Do people really spend less? That's got to be another one of the big myths out there.
Some do, but most don't. They're in a rhythm of spending a certain amount, and you know when you're not going to work full time, now you need to occupy yourself doing something else. So travel is a big chunk of the money. Visiting the children and grandchildren. If you need to spend your time, I don't care if it's golfing or we can talk to Riley about fishing. And you know, he and I were talking before this, but you know, he needs to limit his budget on fishing equipment. I'm like, we'll see. But all that stuff can come out. The last one is taxes are not lower either. You know, if you're spending the same, your income's probably the same, so you might not be in a lower tax bracket. And you might not have all the tax breaks you had younger, dependents, mortgage interest, all this other stuff. So having a tax considerate withdrawal plan for your retirement assets is just key.
Okay. And Will, how many people live in their forever home throughout retirement?
There's very few. I do know a handful of folks over 30 years that have lived in their forever home throughout their retirement. But the vast majority is they'll have a place they enjoy living in right after retirement. But then in latter years, they'll downsize or move closer to family. And I just encourage people to think of the home as the right now home, not the forever home.
Oh,
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
The right now
right
home.
now home.
Yes.
Exactly. So save your money, and basically is what we're saying.
Yes.
And talk to somebody. Make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row if you're considering these retirement plans. And yeah, debunk the myths. Absolutely. As always, Will, it's a pleasure to see you, and thanks for sharing all the info.
Thank you.
Hey, happy to be here. Always happy to share our wisdom on wealth.